Greetings my beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh, the food delivery service that brings pre-measured seasonal ingredients right to your doorstep. HelloFresh is flexible. You can change your delivery dates whenever you like, you can change your meal plans, or you can even skip a week. So HelloFresh reduces the stress of meal planning, of prepping. The food comes pre-measured, you just have to do a little bit of prep and you can have dinner on the table in 30 minutes. Fast, easy, convenient. You can also save a trip to the grocery store, which in these times is a really great thing. So HelloFresh has a ton of different recipes to choose from, which is great for breaking out of recipe ruts, and is also a great way to introduce yourself to new ingredients. This week my family really enjoyed the sun-dried tomato with spaghetti. My kids love spaghetti in all shapes and forms, so this is a perfect recipe for all of them. HelloFresh is also committed to giving back, and in 2019 donated over 2.5 million meals to charity and stepping up their food donation efforts this year amid the coronavirus crisis. If you'd like to try HelloFresh out for yourself, use my code emmymade80 to receive a total of $80 off, including free shipping on your first box with purchase. Go to hellofresh.com to redeem and to learn more. Big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video and for their continued support. Now today I'm going to be making something called funny cake or funny cake pie. It was requested by both Kristina and Sarah. Sarah sent me this beautiful book. It's the Mennonite Community Cookbook. She's Mennonite herself, and she says that every Mennonite kitchen has a copy of this book. Sarah, thank you so much for sending this to me. As you can see, there are lots of recipes that I want to test out. It also includes the funny cake pie, but let me show you some of the other recipes that I am curious about. This one right here, salt rising bread. You're using potatoes and cornmeal to harvest wild yeast to make bread. Absolutely fascinating. This one is for pork cake. Pork cake, a cake made with pork. This is the recipe that I'm going to be making today. So what's so funny about this cake? Well, apparently when you pour in the layers and after you bake them, the layers switch. A little bit of magic. So can't wait to try this. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sending me this beautiful book, and Kristina for suggesting this recipe. So I've looked at a lot of recipes for funny cake, and this particular recipe has the chocolate layer poured on the bottom with the batter on top. And other ones call for the chocolate on top and then you do the switcheroo during baking. So what I'm going to do is follow this recipe, but I'm actually going to put the chocolate layer on top because I really want it to do the switchy thing. So I really hope that it happens. If it doesn't, I'm sure I'm still going to have a delicious dessert. But let's go ahead and make this. Oh, let me first tell you a little bit more about the Mennonite community. The Mennonites actually call themselves Anabaptists. Mennonite was a nickname that was coined from one of their early leaders, Menno Simon. So interesting, right? And they were soon known as Mennonites, but they consider themselves Anabaptists, which means re-baptized. And they believe that instead of baptizing an infant, that an adult should be allowed to decide whether they want to follow Christ and then become baptized. And for those beliefs were very much persecuted. So I found that so fascinating. I didn't know that until I did a little bit of research. So Sarah, thank you so much for sharing this cookbook with me and for encouraging me to learn more about Mennonites. Also, Mennonites or Anabaptists should not be confused with the Amish. Although there are some similar beliefs, Mennonites do use electricity and can drive vehicles. Alrighty, let's go ahead and make the funny cake. Barbara Moore is the author of this recipe. She's from Telford, Pennsylvania, and she says first to make a pie crust. So the pie crust that I'm using is one of my favorites. I learned it actually from the Pioneer Woman, and it's Pam's Perfect Pie Crust. I'll put a link down below, and I really like this pie crust because it comes together really quickly, it's delicious, and you can roll it right away. You don't have to refrigerate it or anything. So I went ahead and made a batch of that. If you want to see more details on how to make that, I will refer you to my strawberry rhubarb pie video. I'll put a link down below. I've got some hot water coming up to the boil, and I have like an insect on my face. I don't know, what is that, hair? Now we're going to make the batter portion of the funny cake. This is a 1/4 cup of shortening. Boop. To that we're going to add a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And we're going to cream that together with a hand mixer. Okay, now I'm going to add my 1 egg. Boop. Continue. Scrape down the sides of this, make sure that everything is well incorporated. Okay, 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, boop, And now we're going to alternate dry and wet. Sift in some flour. Stir that in. It looks and smells just like a cake batter. Milk. Oops, I got some batter on my cookbook. I guess that means it's initiated. In another bowl, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Combine that together. 1/3 cup of hot water. Doopy doopy doop doop doop. 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, just a little whoop. Whoop. That's it. That is the chocolate syrup part. Now I want this to do the little magic flip-a-doo, so I'm going to put this part in first. Batter into crust. And then ow! Ow, that really hurt. Ah! Ah! Don't you hate it when you stub your toe? Okay. Ah. Now I'm going to just pour this right on top, gently. Oh my gosh, this looks so good already. Now that looks like a chocolate pie. That looks beautiful. Now we're going to pop this into a 375-degree oven and cook it for 40 minutes. And then we'll let it cool. And then I'll come back and taste this. Okay, happy funny caking. Look at the beautiful funny cake. Isn't it gorgeous? And indeed, all the chocolate, well, most of the chocolate, has separated from the cake batter. I took it out of the oven and I use a toothpick to check for doneness, just like I would any other kind of cake. So let's go ahead and cut into this. I can't wait. It looks and smells so good. Deep funny cake pie. Ew, it is cutting just like a cake. Do, 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 do. And indeed, the chocolate is at the bottom of the pie. Look at that! Isn't that great? It almost forms, oh, you can see it better here. Love it! One of my favorite combinations in the world is a scoop of vanilla ice cream with hot fudge on top. So this is what this reminds me of. So I think I'm gonna like this, but let's find out. Okay, I can hardly wait. Oh my gosh, it cuts just like a cake. It's a cake. Look at that. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. Winner, winner, winner. That fudgy layer on the bottom tastes exactly like hot fudge that you would have on a sundae. It's sweet, it's chocolatey, and then you've got this lovely fluffy cakey layer on top, flavored with vanilla. And then you've got the pie crust layer at the bottom, which not only adds some flaky texture, but some lovely buttery injected flavor. Just so, so good. When I filled up the pie crust, I was a little bit concerned that the cake batter wouldn't fill up the crust, but it filled it up perfectly. It went right to the edge of the crust. It's just so delicious and fun. Whenever I'm baking, I always like to check on whatever I'm making a couple minutes before what it says in the recipe, because everyone's ovens are a little bit different, so it's always good to check in advance, because it might be ready, and in this case it was. So at 38 minutes I pull this out, and I think that's pretty important, because I don't think you would want your cake to be dry, because you've got a crust going on here too. So if you had a dry cake along with that kind of flaky, dry pie crust, I don't think this would be nearly as good. Alrighty, my beautiful lovelies, there you have it, the funny cake, the funny cake pie, the funny pie, whatever you want to call it. It is amazing. I highly recommend making this recipe. It is easy to make. It is delicious, and it is delicious. Big thanks to Lovelies Kristina and Sarah for suggesting this amazing recipe. And Sarah, thank you so much for sending me this beautiful book. I can't wait to cook more from it. Big thanks also to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to try HelloFresh for yourself, click the link down below and use my code emmymade80 to get a total of $80 off, including free shipping with your first purchase. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! So what did the snowman say to the other snowman? I smell carrots. Now that's funny.